My name is Becky and welcome back to DIY Diaries. This is a series I have that documents all the different home DIYs I do around my house. I like homes that feel alive and that they're always being refreshed and changed. So here we are, and this episode I feel like we are making it full circle, baby, because in that very first episode I put up a whole gallery wall in that staircase. It's like floor to ceiling, like it is a gallery wall, and I repainted the stairs just a white. They were a hardwood that used to have carpet all over it. I ripped that out when we got the house and painted it white. It's nice, but living with it for 3 years now, it's not the most practical. I have a dog, so the white stairs get little dog footprints all over it, and I am finding myself cleaning it all of the time. It's also like the only major staircase in the house that we really use often, so the hardwood floor, I think it could be a little comfier. So the first DIY we are going to be tackling in this DIY Diaries is adding a carpet runner to the staircase. Now I feel like I cannot do this without acknowledging the fact that the runner staircase DIY trend has been circling on YouTube. I feel like it's the new hot thing. Don't really know where it came from, but we're all doing it and I love it. So I absolutely have to shout out my two DIY badass babes. We have Miss Alexandra Gator and Miss Tasha Leland, both of who have done a DIY runner staircase tutorial, a runner on their staircase tutorial about the whole process, and they're amazing, and I learned a lot from both of them. So go check them out, give them a subscribe. They're both amazing, and we love to see women in this community doing awesome things. I also need to mention that this DIY project has been in the works for a very long time. I planned to do this stair upgrade many months ago, but then I started delving into my kitchen, and obviously that took up all of my time, and I didn't want to make a mess in another part of my house before finishing the first main mess in the kitchen, which is now thankfully finished, and I love it. Go watch that if you haven't yet. But we need to throw it back a couple months to when I first purchased the runners, because this is where the story all begins. So let's go back and I'll talk you through what happened. Hi friends, okay, so I have my computer here and we're gonna do some Etsy shopping together. I previously went on Etsy and like favorited a lot of things, but I have so many favorited that I don't know how I'm gonna choose. So I'm gonna show you my favorites, tell you the vibe I'm feeling, and then maybe we can pick one together. As you can see, I've been like really loving this brown and cream vibe. I just think it will match really nicely with the colors already in my house. This one had like a really cool border around it. I'm into something with a pattern, but maybe something not too detailed, because it could be a lot to look at on a staircase if it's very heavily patterned. This one I thought was cool. I would probably take off a little bit of pink on the end, but the pattern's really great. Again, big, bold, but still like a worn out vintage beige color. This one was so beautiful. It's $400 though, and I think I would still need more than one. So I don't think I can justify that, but it's so beautiful. Also, the other thing is price. There's a lot of that I favorited that I think would be great, but then they end up being really expensive. Okay, I reopened this one and I actually think it's a really great find. It's $100 for a 12-foot long rug, and I think I found like the same one or a very similar one from the same seller, which is a very similar dimension, which is kind of crazy because I thought I would have to buy two that hopefully matched like a little bit, but these look very similar and they're almost the same price. So at first I thought, is this just the same rug listed twice? But I think they're different. They just look super similar. And 12 feet long, 110 for the one, 106 for the other. That's an insane deal considering the other options I was looking at were like 400, 500 for one. So I think I'm gonna do it. Yeah, in total, $217, free shipping to Canada. This almost feels too good to be true. I don't know, maybe there's something up here, but I'm willing to risk it because I just can't get over the fact that I found two really long rugs that I love the color of that are this price. So I'm gonna go place the order and I will catch up with you whenever these arrive to my house. Okay, you're back. Good. You're all caught up. So let me just insert one more time, even though you literally just saw it, a photo of what I ordered. We got it, we're looking at it. Let me show you what came in the mail, like very recently. This color, which I think is the back side, and the front side has lots of purple in it, like really bright purple. It looks enough like the photo that I don't think they sent me the wrong one. But it doesn't look enough like the photo that it's what I was expecting. So I honestly don't really know what happened, to be honest, but I still can't get past the fact that I got 24 feet of rug that's like vintage Turkish rug for $200 that, and besides all of that, I still don't mind it, and I think we're just gonna run with it. Truthfully, the darker color is probably just gonna hide the dirt a little bit better, so maybe it was meant to be. So let's start on this DIY. This is how it's looking. I just very loosely draped it over the stairs. Like, hi, check her out. I kind of love it so much already. So this potential mishap is turning around and looking so good. And then one question I want to answer that I think you might have, because I had this same question, and that is, how much runner do you need to have? How do you know how much you need to have? And the easy answer, and all the simple math that I did, was take the width of each stair top, which is the tread, and then take the width of this part, which is the stair riser, for each step, add those all up, because, you know, we're going like this with the rug, and then add like a decent amount more for safety, because it'd be so disheartening to make it all the way here and not have enough for the last couple steps. So give yourself room for extra, because you can always cut what you don't need, right? But you can't add more. I mean, you can, but if you're going for like a one-of-a-kind rug, make it a little difficult. So that's what I did. That's kind of loosely how I figured out how much I'm gonna need. Plus, I do have plans to do the bottom step here, so I needed a little bit more for that as well. So really, like, this is much simpler than I feel like I thought it was in my head of a process. You could just staple it down the way it is currently and call it a day. But one thing I'm gonna do before doing that is use this stuff. This is rug pad. It's the foamy stuff that goes under rugs sometimes to make them nice to step on. And because this is a staircase and I'm gonna be walking on it all the time, I think it'd be nice to have it be a little cushy on each step. So I'm gonna start by cutting my little steps. I don't need to do the riser part because you'll never step on that. It doesn't need to be soft. I just need to do the step part where I will be stepping. So I'm cutting these to be a little bit smaller than each one of my stair treads. And this stuff is something that you can just get at the hardware store, or I assume any sort of like rug retailer would sell this. It comes in a roll, and sometimes you can get it by the foot, or sometimes it comes prepackaged and you just cut it up yourself. It's really easy. All right, 10 more to go. Okay, so I have my foam stair pads all cut, one for each step, and I'm making sure to leave a little gap back here because that's where I'm going to need to have the runner make a fold and put some staples. And I left a tiny gap on each side so that I could put the staples on the outside of this and not have to go through this. And one other thing I decided to do was make this a little bit wider so that it could curl around the edge of the step, because I think that will look nice as well. So instead of having this just free floating under the rug and stapling the rug, there's a chance this could like get displaced over time. I'm gonna put just 2 staples into this so that it stays put underneath the rug, which will put a lot more staples into. I also have these scrap pieces of wood that I can just throw down on each side to help keep all of my pieces centered as I move up the stairs. Because the worst thing would be to staple it all down and then take a step back and realize my rug goes like this up the stairs. And to do this, I'm gonna be using an electric staple gun. This will just go by so much faster, but you absolutely could use one of the manual handheld versions as well. I was like, it's gonna be so stuck. It like destroyed the foam. We gotta turn down the like intensity, I think. Okay, take 2. Nailed it! Okay, so you guys know that I bought 2 runners to get all the way through this length, but upon inspecting them, there's one that I like the pattern of better. And since I don't need to use like fully both of them, I need about maybe 1.5. I'm gonna prioritize my favorite runner for the bottom like 3/4 of this. So I'm just starting with the extra from the other runner and doing about maybe 2 steps worth, and then I'm gonna trim it and then start working with my favorite runner from the rest on. I'm trying to decide if I wanna do this top little strip or not. I kind of think yes. Safety attire, friends. Glamorous. Okay, so it's definitely going. I have about half of the staircase done, and I definitely wanted to give myself time to troubleshoot and figure out the best way to do it before trying to explain it to you and then messing it up. Which I'm glad I did, because I tried so many different things. Some worked, some didn't. And I think it all depends on the type of rug you have. So mine is like a hand woven rug, and it's kind of stretchy. So I have to be so careful when I lay it down that it's straight and I'm not pulling it too much, because it can get bent out of shape pretty easily. So I'll talk you through my final decided on method in a sec, but I just want to talk about the part where I had to cut my rug and move on to the second one, so I had enough. Basically, I decided to end my cut on the underside of the lip. I think that's where it's gonna be hidden the most. So I did a rough-in of like where that would probably end and marked it with a Sharpie, and then used some fabric scissors to just chop off the excess rug. This feels so wrong to be cutting this rug. And I gave myself maybe about a ½ inch extra than I thought I needed, so that on top of that I could lay my new rug, which has the nicely finished edge, and tuck the raw edge underneath so it will never come undone. And then I stapled the new rug. I think it turned out pretty seamless, so let me just talk you through how I've been stapling each stair. So for the back riser, I found it easiest to go into the back of the stair, because that's how I could get my staple gun in there the easiest, and I did a lot of staples, at least 10 to go all the way across, so there was no weird bunchiness. That part's super easy. And something else I found really useful was starting my stapling in the center when moving on to a new row of staples, because if I start from the side, it can start to slowly get warped, and then my other side is all of a sudden not centered anymore. So if your rug has any give, I'd recommend starting in the center and working out both ways. Then I pulled it straight, making sure it fit between my 2 block spacers, and tucked it around underneath the lip of the stair tread and stapled underneath there. And also that took a lot more staples than I thought it would, just to make sure it's not bunchy in any way at all, especially because we have the foam in there. It can look a little bunchy if you don't put in enough staples. I'm obviously not doing any staples on the top front of the stair, because you don't want to step on them or see them really. So just stapling underneath that tread is like enough to hold it in place. The end of day 1 of the staircase. It's looking so good, but there's more that I'm doing in that whole space. This whole video is going to be about that hallway specifically. So I want to do different lighting in the hallway, and I'm on my way now to go pick up a fixture. It's actually a floor lamp, but I'm going to be using the shade as a pendant, or that's what I hope to do. Why am I deciding to multitask while I'm filming? I don't know. But yeah, I'm on my way now to pick it up, and tomorrow is when we will get started on that project. Okay, hi, it's the next day, and I need to show you this lamp I picked up. It's the most precious thing I've ever seen. I think it's an old IKEA lamp, but I am obsessed. And like I said, it's a table or floor lamp, but I'm gonna be turning it into a pendant lamp, because that brings us to our next DIY project. So still working in the stairwell. At the very top of the stairs, I have a single flush mount light that just kind of lights up the top of the stairs. It's very small and unassuming, and because the staircase feels so like tall and lofty, I think it could be cool to do something a little bit more grand that makes more of a statement up with all that blank ceiling space we have going on. So I have the idea to build my own custom pendant light. I want to do a tri-pendant, so it has 3 different lights hanging down, and I'm kind of going for like a mid-century modern feel meets kind of like an Isamu Noguchi Akari style lamp, which are these like paper looking ones. That is why I picked up the one I did last night. I'm really feeling that vibe at the moment, so I'm excited to build my own and show you how I do it. So let's get started. Okay, so here is how I'm gonna assemble my tri-light pendant fixture chandelier. So I'm doing it out of 3 already existing pendant cords. They're a cord with a little light bulb attachment on the end. They're like the ones that you can get from IKEA. We use these all the time, except at the end they have the exposed wire that's hard wireable into the ceiling as opposed to like a plug-in fixture. And I have 3 of them, so these are gonna be my 3 different lights. So how I'm gonna take all 3 of those lights and make it one light is through this guy. This is called a lighting canopy. It is the metal circle part that goes in the ceiling that your cord usually comes out of when you are hardwiring a light. This one has the option to put 3 different cords into it. You can get a variety of different sizes at the hardware store. Some have 4, some have 2. The most common just has 1 hole, but this one gives me the option to put 3 cords in, and I can secure them in place and they're not gonna go anywhere. So my first step is going to be threading all 3 cords into here and making sure they're tight and in place and ready to be hardwired into the ceiling. And then there's little screws on these plastic bits that can get tightened to hold the wire in place. And then you can just combine the black wires and combine the white wires. I'll make sure to do a better job of this when I actually go to install it into the ceiling, make sure it's really tight and secure. Okay, this lampshade you already saw, but as far as my other 2, we got this guy. This was from Facebook Marketplace, only $20. Okay. And then this one, if you've seen our loft tour, it might feel familiar. It's like a baby version of the one we have in our kitchen, and I still love them. So I think together they're gonna make, oh my God, they're like a little sea urchin family. Okay, cool. Let's hang these. I have my lights all here and ready to go. And I'm just gonna be putting them in the ceiling with these little 3 C-hooks. I'll get them all hung and like laying the way I want to first, and then I'll hardwire it because I think I'm gonna have extra cord for sure. I'm just not sure how much yet. So I'll get them hanging, we'll trim the extra, and then we'll get it fully hardwired and working. Oh boy, don't look down. Like I'm literally not scared of heights. Like I'm not, but like this is happening.
So maybe you are.
But like I'm not. This one's for you, Kelsey. Did I turn off the breaker? Did I turn off the breaker? Did I turn off the breaker? 'Cause I don't wanna die. Okay, ready for this? Oh my God. I was not expecting that.
Wait.
Got blinded in the face. Hot damn.
Hot take. You look great.
Do I look lit?
You're glistening, sister.
You're liquid, sister. This looks so good.
Yeah, those are beautiful.
This looks so good. Wow, worth it. Okay, so the lights are up and that hallway is honestly looking so good, but there's one final thing that I want to do to refresh the space, and that is to switch out some of the art that's in the giant gallery wall there. If you remember in the first episode when we put up that giant gallery wall, I think I mentioned it then, but the idea was never for it to be like the same art all the time. The frames would have to stay because they're kind of jigsawed together so well, but I always wanted the art to sort of be in like constant rotation and just switch out when I'm feeling new things or when I take new photos that I really like. So I just sent off 3 photos to get printed, and then I have some prints from Etsy that just came as well. So I'm gonna take down a few of the frames of stuff that I wanna swap out. Oh, I wanna address one thing because I remember words. I want to mention one thing because I remember seeing comments about it the first time, and that was everybody telling me to paint the railing in my staircase. I am weirdly attached to the way it is right now. I love it. I think it's like probably pretty original to the home. It's obvious that it was painted white at some point, but like through use over the years, the whites come off and the wood is starting to show through the sides, and it has these old brass like hardware that's holding it onto the wall. And I don't want to touch it. I love how worn it is. It feels like it's been here forever, which is really special. So I've redone pretty much everything in that hallway. If there's one thing I'm gonna keep, it's that. So of course, like I think like a solid black handle on that white wall would look so sleek. I love it. I love it the way it is. So I'm not gonna be touching that. Okay, let's see how they turned out. I'm trying to go with a mostly black and white print theme for that wall. Obviously some of the stuff on that wall has color. This is one of Danny that I took down by the river. He's just like, I don't know, so perfectly centered. What an artistic dog. Photogenic, that's what I meant. And then the other one is also me and Danny. Look, guys. That's us on like a big hike we did last fall that took forever to get to the top. And then when we did, there was this little moment of him and I. It's so precious. And then one more I got printed is a photo from our wedding, which I also put in black and white as well. So, great. I already have the frames for these from the wall. Let's go home and frame these. Okay, who's ready to frame with me? This is a shadow box that I made with like Polaroids all from moments of last year. So I'm gonna redo this one because it's last year and put one of the prints in. If you wanna know how I did this with the little push pins and all that, I believe the tutorial is on our Instagram. Okay, like I kinda need matte for this one. Maybe I could just do it, I don't know, maybe I could use the push pins and just stick the art piece on that way. The other one, this one will be easy. This is just a frame of like 2 candids of Austin and I that were taken on a film camera. So we can swap this for the one I got printed of Danny and I. Sorry, Austin, but there's a lot of photos of us on that wall, so I think it's okay. I'm really not doing anything fancy, but literally using like the placeholder picture that came in the frame originally and sticking my art to it. And then the matte will go on top. Oh, cute. So cute. Yeah? Oh no. There's a piece of something in the frame. Does that happen to anyone else? Perfect. Another fun fact about that gallery wall is that like 99% of the frames are from the thrift store for a couple of dollars, so you never know what shape the glass is in, or sometimes there's chips on the frame, like, I don't know, there is little chips in the corner. But that's okay. We love it. Moving on, this one I'm really excited about. So this is a print that I got off Etsy, and it is a really cool graphic design piece of the song God Only Knows by the Beach Boys, and it has all of the lyrics in here. So I think anytime a word is used, they add it to the pile and then make this. And I think it's so beautiful. Like, I am a sucker for a really good font choice. I love mustard yellow. Also I should mention, this was a song that was a part of our wedding, which is why it's special to me. So I have this. The shop here, I was gonna tell you guys, is called Rain and Hail. I'll link it below. And they have so many really great graphic design pieces and a lot of songs too in this format. So if you like a certain song, they might have it. So this guy's gonna get framed. So there's a mat with this frame, but I think this is too big. Too big to do that. So do I just do that? Maybe I do that. Yeah, that looks fine. Just put it on top of the mat. Look how cute! Yeah, this is great. And the very last one that I framed was replacing the legend herself, Miss Ellie, with a different queen. Miss Stevie, welcome to the wall. Okay, let's go hang these guys. Also, I get asked sometimes how I incorporate my husband's style into the house, since I seem to be the one who's always making it over. And let me show you. This is how. And this is how. This is an old clipping that he really likes. And there's a couple other things as well on the wall that are specifically his choice, so that's how. Well, guys, we did it. The hallway has been transformed once again. I really hope you guys enjoyed this, and as always, I really hope you learned something, or at least felt a little bit more empowered to take on a project like this of your own. If you enjoyed this, oh my goodness, please subscribe. We would love to have you around more often. We are two friends who are just like so passionate about home decor and DIY and designing on a budget and with an eco mindset. So if that sounds like something that you like as well, join us, join the fam. I did reference some episodes from this series, so check them out after. We'll link one at the end, one below. Leave me a comment, tell me what your favorite part was, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next one. Thanks so much for joining. Bye!